The clock had long chimed 2, and after what seemed an endless cycle of restless tossing and turning, I ultimately yielded to the tranquility of the night and rose to find comfort in a glass of water. The soft illumination of the living room lingered, enveloping the space in a warm yet eerie embrace amidst the quiet of the night. On that fateful night, a moment forever etched in my memory, my cousin Samuel placed his trust in me, asking Evan to remain by my side for a time. Upon discovering his fate, an overwhelming sadness engulfed me, fracturing my heart into innumerable shards. His heart throbbed with the burden of treachery as the affection he once held dear disintegrated around him, reducing his existence to ruins. Evan, having woven his existence alongside the same woman for innumerable years, was taken aback in the most heart-wrenching way conceivable. Samuel's son was adrift in a tumultuous sea of feelings, and the burden of it all seemed insurmountable for him. "Marian, I urge you to accept this reality," Samuel had beseeched me, his voice quaking with urgency. "Evan yearns for a fleeting moment of peace." Though my acquaintance with Evan was minimal, I could feel the shadows that surrounded him were rooted in a woman, a spectral figure that molded his every imperfection. Our family has faced a staggering array of losses, each one etching a lasting impression on our hearts. 7 long years have passed since I lost my husband, Richard, at the age of 60. He was suddenly snatched away, his life abruptly ended by the merciless clutch of a heart attack. In a brief instant, we discovered ourselves shaping the home we had long dreamed of, a refuge destined to be finished within the span of a year. In that ephemeral instant, time itself seemed to pause. The passing of Richard enveloped my life in a profound darkness, compelling me to confront the delicate nature of existence. In solitude, I have roamed through the passage of time, weighed down by a deep void that resonates within my soul. In recent days, the burden of solitude has descended upon me with a force that feels almost unbearable. This evening carried the weight of unvoiced reflections and enduring feelings, reminiscent of those nights that linger in memory. Are you ready to welcome the journey that awaits you? This narrative rises above the mundane. This captures the fragile lines that blur, the intense wave of emotions that swirl beyond our control, and the silent pleas of a truth longing to emerge from the recesses of our souls. Every transient instant holds the potential to awaken something deep within you. Feelings that remain hidden, poised to be revealed, testing the limits you once thought were insurmountable. If this is the story you have yearned to hold close, then come forth and lend your ear. Seize the opportunity and press that subscribe button, letting the notifications illuminate your journey. Your support carries profound importance in my life. As I traversed towards the living room, the burdens of existence pressed down upon me, a palpable heaviness that seemed to anchor my every movement. A short distance ahead, I spotted Evan, entranced by the soft illumination of a romantic film dancing across the screen. In that ephemeral instant, my heart was entirely devoted to the hope that Evan might find a fragment of tranquility in his stay. All the while I was blissfully oblivious to the fact that life had crafted an alternate narrative, one that would unravel in ways beyond my wildest imagination. Countless threads seemed to be coming undone, and I discovered a deep longing for merely one step, a lone action that might alter the trajectory of it all. Evan faced me, his gaze still laden with drowsiness, and gently asked if I was the one who had interrupted his rest. His voice carried a haunting resonance, intertwining uncertainty that pulled at the heartstrings, alongside a deep yearning for solace. As I lingered in my shirt, it dawned on me that the sensation of the fabric against my skin was far from my primary worry. The surroundings seemed to dissolve, leaving behind only the heavy presence of my thoughts and emotions, suspended in the atmosphere. In that instant, an overwhelming sense of isolation wrapped around me, more intense than I had ever experienced. I held my tongue, bestowing upon him a soft smile that conveyed a wealth of meaning in the stillness that enveloped us. At this moment, I am captivated by the straightforward pleasure of satisfying my thirst, finding comfort in the cool, refreshing touch of water. In that moment, the heavy cloak of solitude enveloped me, and I longed for time to expand, to linger just a bit longer. Perhaps, just perhaps, a few shared moments with Evan could bridge the chasm of this lonely night. A simple movie might serve as a reminder that, amidst the chaos, A thread of normalcy still weaves through existence. A flicker of hope for peace in my life. "Come sit down," Evan invited softly, gesturing to the empty space beside him on the couch. A silent promise of shared moments and quiet companionship. The decision arrived with a surprising lucidity, as though the burden had already been eased from my soul. In pursuit of warmth and a profound bond, I found myself beside him, longing for an evening steeped in meaning. The film started to reveal its narrative, but my thoughts wandered, struggling to tether themselves to the visuals displayed before me. Deep within me resided a sensation, a fleeting spirit that I found difficult to grasp. There was an undeniable quality to Evan's presence. The manner in which this enigmatic stranger filled the space beside me. The delicate quiver in his voice ignited a tempest of feelings inside me, transforming everything into something deeply significant. As the delicate scenes of the film played out, I found myself wanting to look away from the screen, wrestling with the emotions that welled up inside me. In that ephemeral instant, as the couple on the screen edged nearer, a surge of nostalgia enveloped me, awakening memories I thought had long slipped into the recesses of my mind. In a moment that was both ephemeral and deeply significant, I found myself unwittingly tilting my head, my skin grazing Evan's arm, igniting a spark of connection that hung in the air between us. In a heartbeat, I discovered myself withdrawing. "What was that you just uttered?" I turned my eyes away, a surge of panic enveloping me. It was never my intention for things to unfold like this. Evan paused, a moment lingering in the air before he gave a gentle nod, his voice softening as he reassured, "Okay, don't worry." In that ephemeral moment, the gap between us appeared to shrink, as though the cosmos itself was orchestrating our convergence. The film played out in front of me, but a palpable void remained, overshadowing each moment. In that instant, an unsettling void of genuine tranquility enveloped both Evan and me. Even in our closeness, a deep void hung between us, forming an unseen wall that appeared to eclipse our bond. That night remains etched in my mind, a bittersweet reminder of the beginning of something deep, something intricately intertwined with complexities I had yet to understand. In that ephemeral instant, I sensed a deep change, as though the cosmos was softly revealing that everything stood on the edge of metamorphosis. The evening had unraveled in a surprising manner, weaving shadows that twirled with ambiguity. Seated on the sofa, the gentle light of the screen casting a warm glow upon us, I became entranced by the moment, utterly captivated by Evan. The romantic film unfolded, yet my heart was irresistibly captivated by him, a sensation that was both thrilling and gentle. In the unadorned fabric of my shirt, the closeness to another man after an extended period of solitude ignited a tension within me that was impossible to ignore. Evan's presence ignited a spark within me, bringing to light the truths I had long concealed. Maybe it was the isolation that had surrounded me for an eternity, but the closeness to another man in such an intimate way ignited a profound and stirring feeling within me. A tempest of feelings enveloped me, casting me adrift in a fog of doubt, as I grappled with its significance. Yet, deep within me, an undeniable sensation stirred my very essence. That night, a profound clarity enveloped me, casting light upon the shadows that had haunted me for an eternity. Let us resist the allure of comfort. Throughout the night, I found myself caught in a restless waltz with my thoughts, turning and twisting in a ceaseless search for clarity. The burden of insomnia drew me into the early light, every second elongating like a specter over my fatigued spirit. With the first light of dawn, I felt an irresistible pull towards the piano, a deep desire to let go of the tumultuous anxiety that wrapped itself around my heart. For almost 7 years, I existed in isolation, and with each dawn, I longed for a semblance of normalcy to envelop me like a warm embrace. The piano echoed through my being, a beloved companion that bestowed a momentary peace, stirring recollections of Richard. As my fingers danced across the keys, a gentle hope awakened within me, longing for this morning to unveil a hint of solace as well. At that instant, a sound wafted in from the outside world, drawing me away from my reverie. A shadow danced before the window, a transient wraith that awakened a profound stir within my soul. With the dawn breaking and a soft light enveloping the city, Evan meandered through the well-known streets, each footfall resonating with a profound sense of isolation and contemplation. At first, it eluded my notice, yet as the tune intertwined with the very air around me, he swung open the front door and entered. As I immersed myself in the music, I remained blissfully oblivious to his presence, completely absorbed in my own universe. It was only when I caught sight of him, poised in serene silence, that the weight of the moment enveloped me. For a brief instant, my fingers seemed to transform into ice, and in that silence, the tension within me intensified, more powerful than ever. Still, Evan's smile remained, a soft reminder that, in his gaze, all was as it should be, unscathed by the tumult that surrounded us. "That was beautiful," he murmured softly. His voice carried a softness that hung in the air, as though the moment had enveloped them in a tender embrace. "I am deeply thankful. This gift has profoundly moved me, unlike any other birthday present I have ever received." In that ephemeral moment, a wave of profound feeling cascaded through me, wrapping around my essence. As Evan crossed the threshold, an unmistakable change washed over the room, morphing it into a space entirely new, as though we had entered a different realm altogether. Then he spoke, his voice unwavering and genuine, unveiling an emotional depth I had never experienced before. The sentiments I just articulated echo profoundly within my being. In that ephemeral instant, your presence ignited a warmth within my heart that had long been dormant. It stood as the pinnacle of my days, a cherished reminder of the essence of joy. Today signifies a remarkable turning point in my journey, as I celebrate my 40th birthday. Isn't it hard to fathom? It hit me suddenly, how those words appear to peel away a fragment of my very being. I turned my gaze away, wrestling with the storm of emotions that collided with the embrace of his greeting. In that ephemeral instant, following what seemed an endless stretch of time, a gentle warmth surrounded me, and for the first time in many years, the burden of isolation started to fade away. A feeling of awakening coursed through me, a subtle hint of change looming ahead. In the wake of that bittersweet dawn, I found myself longing for the solace of twilight. The awareness of Evan's 40th birthday awakened a profound feeling within me, sparking a yearning to create an experience that would elevate the day from the ordinary to the remarkable. A memory to hold dear. In a serene moment of reflection, I discovered a flicker of inspiration and turned to him, yearning for connection in that ephemeral thought. "Is it possible that today signifies the anniversary of your entrance into this world?" I extended my hand into the void, yearning for the truths that resided within the quietude. In that instance, let us seize the occasion and revel in unity. Imagine the warmth of sharing a bottle of wine, the rich flavors mingling in the air, as we indulge in a slice of cake together this evening. In that ephemeral instant, Evan's smile surprised me, enveloping my heart in a tender embrace, kindling a flicker of joy I had not realized I craved. "Perhaps, if you're alluding to it, tonight could ignite a flicker of joy," he said, a spark of excitement flickering in his gaze. Following a fleeting pause, he pressed on, a sardonic grin dancing across his face. Yet hidden beneath the surface, a trap awaits. I yearned to listen to the soft melodies of the piano again, to be wrapped in the harmonies that awaken my spirit. This weight appears to be one you will bear indefinitely, regardless of your efforts to cast it aside. As laughter escaped my lips, I endeavored to banish the creeping unease that was silently taking root within me. With a deep breath, I responded, "Very well. It appears that this moment genuinely beckons us to uncork a fine bottle of wine," encouraging a pause to relish the depth of the experience with a sincere toast. The seemingly insignificant exchange echoed in my thoughts, etching a deeper impression on my heart than I was prepared to admit. Within me, emotions swelled like a storm, desperate for an outlet, yet I stifled them, persuading myself that for a single evening, I could craft a facade of normality. It was just a birthday, a transient instance of festivity, that encompassed it all. In a moment that was both commonplace and remarkable, Evan made a comment that rendered me completely at a loss for words. Surprised by its unforeseen heft, he looked at me, his eyes mirroring a clarity that appeared untainted by life's complexities, and gently asked, "How old are you?" 4.5 decades have slipped by, each year a delicate strand intricately interlaced into the tapestry of my life. In that ephemeral instant, an all-encompassing tranquility enveloped me, as though time had momentarily halted, leaving me in a state of astonished suspension. For an extended period, I had strived to capture a feeling of youth, seeking to evade the burden of my age. In that instant, as the heartfelt words enveloped me, I was taken aback, stirred by the profoundness of their generosity. A smile blossomed on my face, unexpected and comforting, like a soft whisper of the beauty that life can offer. "Oh, how disheartening it is, not quite as I had envisioned," I spoke, striving to diminish the weight of the moment. Yet it was nearly impossible to mask the spark of feeling that his words kindled within me. I felt as though I was being pulled in two directions, ensnared by their gentle warmth, while simultaneously grappling with the storm of emotions raging inside me, each surge threatening to shatter the delicate barrier I had constructed. As darkness wrapped around us, Evan and I uncorked the wine, letting its deep fragrance permeate the atmosphere. We settled into our snug haven, poised to welcome the embrace of joyous festivities together. As we traded words, an intricate bond started to unfurl between us. His warmth surrounded me, and the intensity with which he listened to every word I uttered filled my heart with a deep sense of solace. An undeniable connection existed between us, a magnetic pull that intensified with every fleeting moment we experienced together. Deep within, a whisper beckoned me to welcome this evening as though it were merely another Monday night. In that moment, Evan raised his glass, a warm smile illuminating his face, and with a mischievous sparkle in his eyes, he leaned closer and inquired, "So when will you share your music with me? At the core of your being, you understand that there is no evading this truth." In that ephemeral moment, uncertainty slithered in, enveloping my mind like a dense mist. In that instant, I drew in a deep breath, sensing the heavy blend of uncertainty and possibility coiling within my being. With a calm determination, I murmured to myself, "All right, let's proceed." As I took my place on the piano bench, I let the notes envelop me, a soft cascade of sound that I wished would calm the storm raging within my spirit. With each note, I felt a transformation within, as though an unseen thread was pulling me closer to him. In the depths of the music, I experienced a profound sense of solace, as though each note enveloped me in a warm embrace. My attentive listening, infused with every essence of my soul, elevated the experience to a realm of sanctity, as though the very melodies carried the gravity of the cosmos. What I had imagined as a simple celebration morphed into an experience that was completely unforeseen. In that ephemeral instant, I discovered myself staring at a feeling that had slipped through my fingers for what seemed like a lifetime. Something deeply authentic. As I maneuvered through the keys, a fog wrapped around my mind, clouding the lucidity I had once pursued. Each note reverberated through my being, stirring emotions I found difficult to grasp. Evan's voice echoed gently in my mind, and I felt a slow chasm opening between my heart and my intellect. As if they were parting ways in a silent, aching waltz, I found myself lost in a tumultuous ocean, oblivious to the instant when I ought to have stopped and inhaled deeply. As my hands instinctively reached for another melody, a familiar presence materialized beside me. Evan's tender touch wrapped around my hands, anchoring me in that ephemeral instant. "You are an extraordinary woman," he remarked, his tone soft yet unwavering, "and the way you play the piano is nothing short of mesmerizing." His words resonated within the corridors of my thoughts, crafting a disquieting emptiness that remained long after they had been uttered. His warm hands wrapped around mine, anchoring me in a stormy ocean of feelings, offering a sense of steadiness even as chaos swirled inside me. "Come on, you're tired," he murmured, his voice a soothing balm, enveloping me in a comforting embrace. "Come, let us seek a moment of tranquility on the sofa together. I possess a treasure of words that I wish to unveil to you. A sentiment that I trust will resonate deeply within your soul." With a tender gesture, Evan guided me to the sofa, and I became enveloped in a tempest of feelings. I found it difficult to fully comprehend the essence of the moment. Yet an undeniable richness surrounded us, awakening something deep within me. As I nestled into my seat, a tempest of thoughts swirled within me, and then, like a gentle caress, Evan returned to the piano. As I lingered in that moment, I became entranced by the graceful movement of his hands gliding over the keys. A seamless flow that appeared to infuse the very atmosphere with vitality. In that fleeting moment, the cherished strains of my beloved melody enveloped me, casting a comforting shroud of nostalgia and yearning around my being. At that instant, an overwhelming sense of recognition enveloped me. The song had been a treasured companion for years, its melody delving deep into my soul, stirring emotions I believed were long forgotten. As he played, my heart quickened, each note awakening memories I was unready to face. As I sat in quietude, the melodies flowed around me, awakening a fire that flickered deep within my spirit. As time passed, a sense of restlessness enveloped me. The melody he played wrapped around me, lifting my spirit as though he were extending a hand, inviting me nearer. As I drew nearer with every step, a deep yearning surged within me, striving to calm the tempest that roared in my heart. As I approached, standing beside him, a tide of uncertainty surged within me, rendering me unsure of my next move. "Are you genuinely proficient in this?" My voice trembled as I spoke, a futile effort to conceal the frantic beating of my heart just below the surface. "And there you stand, strumming the melody that echoes profoundly in the depths of my being." My words lingered in the atmosphere, resonating gently throughout the space as a tempest of emotions churned within me, each sentiment colliding and weaving together in a chaotic ballet. "Who is it that stands before me? Evan? What hidden depths reside within your soul? Yearning to be revealed? What tales do you harbor, concealed beneath the surface, eager to be unveiled? In those hushed intervals when the chaos of life recedes, what revelations do you softly murmur to your own soul? Your enigmatic nature captivates me, and I am compelled to unravel the essence of who you are." I asked, my voice quivering, scarcely lifting above a murmur. "Have you discovered your true self? Is it really you who draws near to me?" At this very moment, I am surrounded by a feeling that is truly unlike anything I have ever experienced. In that instant, I was swept away by a tempest of feelings, a blend of confusion and overwhelm, yet tinged with exhilaration and fear, all woven together with a strand of joy. The experience unfolded like a tumultuous orchestra of emotions, each chord striking a profound chord within my soul. In that ephemeral instant, our eyes met, and the surrounding world dissolved into nothingness. The warmth of his breath enveloped me, a soft whisper of intimacy that hung in the air, creating a fragile connection between us. As I looked into his eyes, it felt like I was being pulled into another world, where the essence of time appeared to pause completely. The fervor of his gaze ignited a flutter within my chest, wrapping me in a soothing warmth that persisted well beyond the moment our eyes connected. In that ephemeral moment, it felt as if we inhabited a cosmos designed exclusively for our union. Two spirits entwined within the boundless expanse of all that surrounds us. Everything appeared to transform in a manner that was nearly tangible. In that ephemeral instant, it felt as if the enormity of existence had shrunk, isolating just the two of us in our private cosmos. In that instant, everything else dissolved, and the world shifted before me, unveiling a fresh and deep understanding. In that ephemeral instant, as our eyes met, the surrounding world dissolved into nothingness, revealing only the deep bond we shared, unblemished by the passage of time or any interruptions. In that instant, the tumult, the trepidation, and the flurry of thoughts dissipated, leaving only Evan and me, poised in a delicate tranquility. His presence beside me felt grounding, his voice a calm thread pulling me back from the storm within, anchoring me while allowing my spirit to soar. My thoughts swirled in a chaotic dance, ensnared by a tempest of feelings, leaving me to ponder whether it was the persistent whine or the deluge of emotions that surrounded me. In that moment, the burden of doubt bore heavily upon me, and I sensed that I might shatter without Evan's unwavering presence to ground me. In that ephemeral instant, the look he cast was an unspoken vow, beckoning me closer to him. His warmth surrounded me, encasing me in a protective embrace that sharply contrasted with the chaos that enveloped us. In his presence, I discovered a delicate balance, a refuge in the midst of chaos. "You need to rest," he said softly, his voice a gentle whisper as he led me to the sofa. His words enveloped me in a soothing embrace, while the gentle pressure of his hands on my waist offered a comfort that was both reassuring and disquieting, igniting a tempest of emotions within me. As I nestled into my seat, his hands brushed against mine for a heartbeat longer, and in that ephemeral moment, our gazes intertwined again, igniting a profound sensation within me. In that instant, I became adrift in a tumultuous ocean of doubt, wrestling with the burden of unvoiced thoughts and feelings that seemed too immense to grasp. His touch wrapped around me like a soft embrace, etching the night into my memory, deep and unfathomable in its power. That night on the sofa became a rich tapestry of emotions, intertwining moments of exhilaration with memories destined to remain in my heart for eternity. The events cascaded in a frenzy, offering me scant opportunity to fully comprehend the gravity of it all before the first light of dawn emerged. As I gradually awakened to the world surrounding me, a soft tug beckoned me to rise. With a calm resolve, I ventured into the living room, every step echoing the thoughts that danced in my mind. The rich aroma of coffee drifted from the kitchen, softly beckoning me from the depths of my sleep-induced fog. And there he was, a presence of warmth and familiarity. In the stillness of dawn, Evan lingered in the kitchen, his chest exposed, immersed in the familiar ritual of brewing coffee. The steam coiled around him, a tender caress, as he infused his reflections into the cup, relishing the tranquility of the moment. His body, still exuding warmth and vitality from the previous night, rested before me, and as I contemplated the events of that evening, an overwhelming surge of emotion washed over me, awakening a profound sensation within me. My clothes lay in quiet disarray, a faint trace of the confusion and vulnerability we both carried through the night. The very thought of it all ignited a tempest of feelings inside me, a fusion of anxiety and excitement that twirled in my heart. As I navigate the recollections of that evening, a profound sense of bewilderment envelops me, rendering me further adrift in the maze of my reflections. What awaited in this moment of uncertainty? How shall I even commence to untangle this? Amidst the swirling chaos, one undeniable truth came to light. In that instant, I felt an undeniable link between us, a deep connection that awakened something profound within me, something entirely new and unfamiliar. On that tranquil night, I felt an undercurrent of change, a subtle hint of potential that could reshape my existence in ways I had yet to fathom. Evan stepped back from the kitchen, his eyes locking onto mine with a heaviness that hung in the atmosphere. Those soft eyes, that warm smile, a profound stillness surrounded us, thick with the burden of unexpressed thoughts and feelings that hung in the atmosphere. As I stood there, observing him, I became enveloped in a tempest of emotions, wrestling with the intricacies of my own feelings and the multifaceted nature of the moment that was unfolding before me. Everywhere I looked, chaos held dominion. In that instant, I felt adrift, wrestling with doubt, uncertain of the journey that awaited me and how to proceed forward. In that instant, I was engulfed by a profound feeling of being lost, trapped within a tangled web of doubt. Yet, beneath the weight of my despair, a subtle stirring emerged, a quiet recognition that change loomed ahead, both inevitable and unstoppable. As I stood there, echoing the essence of Marion, a storm of emotions and confusion wrapped around me, each feeling weaving into the other, plunging me into deep introspection. Everything seemed shrouded in a haze, as though I were adrift in a mist, struggling to seize even the most straightforward of ideas. In an instant, everything unraveled with a breathtaking rapidity. As I stood there, my clothes scattered across the floor, I found myself gazing at her. In that fleeting moment, I closed my eyes, a gentle shake of my head escaping me, as if to cast away the burdens of the world surrounding us. The intricacies of it all enveloped me in a fog, rendering me incapable of expressing the myriad thoughts dancing in my mind, much less the feelings that pulled at my heartstrings. I sprang to my feet, an undeniable urgency driving me toward the bathroom. In that instant, I felt an intense longing for the soothing touch of warm water, a basic yet deeply significant need that appeared to beckon to my fatigued spirit. A deep longing for solitude washed over me, a desire to break free from the chaotic tide of emotions that loomed, ready to consume me whole. My shirt and underwear lay forsaken, precisely as I had discarded them, a quiet testament to the fleeting moment that had just unfolded. The turmoil enveloping me seemed trivial, a mere whisper of a past I had long since released. What I yearned for was to lose myself in the comforting warmth of the hot water. To seek refuge from the chaos that envelops me, even if only for a brief instant. Emerging from the shower, the towel wrapped around me like a gentle embrace, offering a brief solace in that instant. Suddenly, the door creaked open, breaking the serene calm I had only just begun to enjoy. Evan remained poised, a silhouette suspended in the tranquility of the instant. In that ephemeral instant, time appeared to halt, leaving me suspended, unable to stir or draw a breath. In that quietude, we lingered, ensnared in a moment that seemed simultaneously eternal and ephemeral. In that ephemeral instant, our gazes intertwined, and a profound intensity surrounded us, as if time itself suspended its breath, halting the tumult of the world beyond. At that instant, doubt wrapped around me, casting me into a tumultuous ocean of bewilderment. The chaos inside me was tangible, a tempest of uncertainty and unfiltered feelings mirrored in my gaze. I found myself completely exposed, devoid of any shields, and yet, in the midst of this raw vulnerability, the words flowed out, relentless and insistent, as if they were clamoring for attention. In a quavering tone, I admitted, "I have no idea what is happening. What is it that we are genuinely engaged in? There's an odd feeling, this consciousness of the shadows enveloping me, as if I'm adrift in a dream, gliding through an otherworldly realm where reality fades and emotions weave together." As Evan approached, a tempest of feelings swirled inside me, the atmosphere charged with unvoiced sentiments and the weight of what could be. His eyes overflowed with a whirlwind of clashing feelings, each demanding its moment in the spotlight, a quiet reflection of the intricacies within his soul. In that instant, doubt surrounded us, a dense veil of the unfamiliar. We stood side by side, our hearts pounding, fully conscious that the future lay before us like an empty canvas, eager for the strokes of our decisions. In that ephemeral instant, a torrent of thoughts and emotions surged within me, yet the words lingered, imprisoned in the depths of my being, unwilling to break free into the world. "Your coffee is ready," Evan murmured, his voice quivering just a touch, as if the mere act of serving carried a weight of unspoken meaning. As my eyes settled on him, I found myself captivated by the tumultuous beauty enveloping us, a fabric stitched together from flaws and unrefined feelings. In that ephemeral moment, I discovered a profound immersion, unburdened by the looming shadows of tomorrow. I merely existed, yielding to the splendor of the present moment. As I sank into my chair, cradling my coffee, a tempest of confusion swirled within my heart, stubbornly resisting any attempt at calm. As I sat with Evan, our eyes locked in a silent conversation, we wandered through the echoes of our shared history, each recollection a soft murmur of what had been. The events cascaded around me like a tempest, each moment a fleeting whisper, evading my grasp and leaving me gasping for understanding. What decisions had we embraced? What feelings awakened in our hearts? In the recesses of my mind, I longed to express something meaningful, to transform the tumult into understanding. Yet the perfect words danced just out of reach, slipping away like grains of sand, leaving me enveloped in a quiet sense of frustration. "Marion," Evan began, his voice tinged with an unmistakable tension. "The burden of our actions rests heavily upon my heart. I am profoundly conscious of its significance. How did we permit ourselves to descend into this predicament?" In his eyes, a flicker of guilt danced, yet beneath it lay a deep understanding, as if he were wrestling with the burden of unvoiced truths. He comprehended, much like I did, that everything had unraveled beyond our control. Should we reflect on this with a sense of sorrow? Looking back, it becomes evident that we ought to have avoided that route altogether. In that instant, time appeared to freeze, amidst the tumult of my swirling thoughts. A moment of clarity broke through, revealing the strength I needed to articulate my feelings. Indeed, it may have all transpired in a flurry, but it just didn't feel right. In the stillness of contemplation, I came to understand how we permitted the ease of existence to elude us, crafting a fabric of intricacy that now appears profoundly perplexing. As I reflect on the past, it becomes painfully evident that none of this truly aligns, leaving me with a profound sense of disarray and a yearning for clarity. In the stillness of contemplation, It dawns on me with a heavy heart that this was a miscalculation for us both. I uttered those words, a weight pressed down on my chest. But within that heaviness, I discovered an unforeseen relief. As I came to terms with the truth at last. We had allowed emotions to blur the clarity of our bond. And now we must gently retreat. Before we lose sight of what truly matters. Evan remained motionless, his eyes glued to the earth beneath him, ensnared in contemplation. At that instant, his eyes locked onto mine. We behave as though this moment is but a figment. Marion, he whispered, his voice a harmonious mix of power and gentleness. Deep within my heart, I hold the conviction that, for the sake of our well-being, the moment has come for us to release what once was. To what extent can we ponder the significance of this extension? What awaits us beyond our reluctance? The weight of it all becomes even more daunting when it appears that everything is unraveling. We must create a refuge for ourselves. A space where we can inhale deeply and ponder, enabling our spirits to thrive in their own radiance. In that instant, his words resonated profoundly within me, stirring emotions I had yet to fully recognize. I discovered comfort in the choice to continue along this path. It would inevitably lead to suffering for us both. Indeed, I murmured, taking a deep breath, perhaps in the intricate weave of existence. This is what was destined to unfold. Maybe if you decide to leave, it might hold the solution we are both searching for. It seems this may be the route that offers the greatest potential for our wellness. A decision that could ultimately foster growth for us both. Evan articulated his thoughts, his demeanor steadfast and unyielding. A profound urgency compels me to follow this journey. He uttered his words. This seems to be the journey we are both meant to embark upon. In the quiet of those ephemeral instants, we share looks, each laden with unvoiced sentiments and feelings. In that ephemeral instant, a deep comprehension enveloped us, shedding light on the gravity of the choice before us. Accepting the reality that our choices in those dark moments were simply a miscalculation burdens my soul. Facing that reality could indeed be the first step on the path to recovery and change. Instead of ensnaring one another in a tangle of uncertainty, I feel that the true route to advancement resides in discovering our individual realms. I sincerely wish that my narrative struck a chord with you in some manner. This adventure has been truly thrilling, and the delight of experiencing it alongside you has brought immense joy to my heart. If you crave more stories akin to this, think about subscribing and enabling notifications. In this manner, you can position yourself at the forefront of each new episode as it emerges, welcoming a wealth of stories into your existence. Your likes and comments occupy a cherished space in my heart, echoing profoundly within me. Your reflections and emotions echo within me, sparking an intense motivation that eludes precise expression. Your encouragement ignites my imagination, enabling me to delve deeper and articulate the depths of my inner world. My heartfelt thanks go out to all of you, and I eagerly anticipate the next adventure we will embark on together in the captivating narratives that lie ahead.